Hi, I'm Harjeet and this is my daughter Araya, who's just turned 4 months old, and I also have a son Milan, who's almost 3. I'd always planned to breastfeed both my kids and also any subsequent kids that I may have. One, just because of the great health benefits that have been associated with breastfeeding, but also the added benefits of not having time-consuming bottles to make up, always having breastfeeding on hand and just not having to faff around. So when I got started with breastfeeding, I bought myself a V-shaped pillow, mainly to help me get the positioning right, which in turn would lead to the latch being correct, and also just to support myself to be a bit more comfortable. So at the beginning I thought breastfeeding would be something that would come naturally to every mum, and it wasn't as natural as I had hoped it would be. I found it at times it could be quite uncomfortable, and I know that breastfeeding, if you're doing it correctly, shouldn't be something that's uncomfortable. It should just be something that you're at ease with and that doesn't cause you any pain. So when Araya was about a month old, I woke up one morning and I was feeling quite lightheaded, and I was also experiencing some redness on my left breast, and it also felt quite hard and tender to touch. Not so loud. And I also at the same time had cracked and bleeding nipples on my left side, and I think it's because both my children actually favoured my right breast. So the left breast became a bit neglected, and that's when I realised with all those symptoms that there was something going on and that I needed to seek some help. So I went to see the GP, and I also spoke to my health visitor and a pharmacist. The health visitor recommended to me that I should use cold cabbages from the fridge and also some hot flannels or quite hot showers on my breast to stop some of the pain. And whereas the doctor recommended that I should go for some nipple cream to soothe it, but also one of the most important pieces of advice that he gave me was that I should continue feeding from that side. I'd say that it cleared up within about 7 to 10 days. So it's a recurring problem that can come back if you lapse back into your old habits. So because my children had a tendency to go for the right breast, I would often neglect the left, and you can sometimes feel some symptoms coming back, which is when you then need to start using the remedies again. I'm really glad that I persevered with the breastfeeding, and although at times it was really uncomfortable, it was something that I was determined to overcome, and now I've come past that stage, and breastfeeding now to me feels so natural and so easy, just like it should do. I think my top breastfeeding tip is just to ensure that you get the latch right, because that's where everything starts, and that's where, if you don't, that's the simplest thing, but it's where most of the problems can occur from. And I'd also say don't be afraid to ask. So the doctors, the health visitors, the pharmacists, they're there to help you. They've spoken to hundreds of women before you, and they know the problems, and it doesn't make you a bad mum. In fact, it probably makes you a better mum because you're seeking help to help you along your breastfeeding journey.